you talked earlier about your desire to be helping everyone, helping others, helping the community. Is the podcast you do, is that part of that? Is that the reason you do a podcast?
Yes.
Yeah. And can you tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. So it's called Mobile Home Parks in Real Life, MHBIRL. And the whole point is I want to inject a different perspective into this industry, because basically mobile home parks have been afflicted by a handful of groups who are perpetuating, look, it's really lucrative, it's not a lot of work, and no one's talking about it. In other words, hey guys, slumlords, come here, right? What does a slumlord want? Something really lucrative that they don't have to do anything. So in other words, we're getting bombarded with slumlord types now. And in order to combat that, what I am doing is I am selling vegetables on the corner. While they're selling sweets, hey, it's easy, it's lucrative, yay! I'm over here going, no guys, it's really hard and it's going to take a really long time, but if you want this, this is where you come to actually get it. Because I'm going to tell you everything that I can, and the reason being is because I want to dissuade the wrong people and encourage and prop up the right people. So in other words, because I was getting interviewed by this one woman who asked me, she's like, I checked out your website, your YouTube page, your blog, your podcast. She's like, you give all of your secrets away and you're not selling anything. Why are you doing that? You're like building up your competition. And I was like, that's a great point. But here's what I'm also doing, which you're not saying. I'm encouraging the right people to get into this space, and I'm always going to have competition. I should never shy away from competition. I will always have competition. But the thing is, if I'm going to lose out to someone who's on their properties like I am, who's doing right by people, partnering with Paley, starting partial college scholarships like we are, doing free food giveaways like we are, like just jump on the charity page of my website and see all the stuff that I do. If I lose out to someone like me who's doing charity work and aren't being slumlords, sign me up. I don't care. It's not about me. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not about me. What I want to do is do something great for the world in general. I want to be a part of something way bigger than me. So I don't care if I lose out to people who are doing it the right way. And I don't care that I help them beat me, because I would much rather that than some slumlord.
Yeah, that's what you're saying is in line with a philosophy that I read recently from Simon Sinek, who wrote that book, Start With Why.
Starting with Why, yep.
Yeah, but he recently released a book called The Infinite Game, and you're describing kind of the kind of person that he says is playing the infinite game. And you're building an industry. You're building the industry in the way that you're saying, well, this industry is gonna come on one way or the other, and you're building it the way you want it to be, the way that you think would make the world better. And Simon talks about the having worthy adversaries that you can make at you better, and actually makes your business better and makes your industry better. And the way you talk about that reminds me of that. So that's wonderful.
I'm a fan of that book, Starting With Why. I must say, if you are a believer in the free markets like I am, you have to understand that the ideal free market is one where regulation is a referee, not an active player, but also that the incentive is always hovers around, I am going to make the best possible product for my end user, and that's how I'm going to win. And whenever it's not like that, whenever it's like a monopoly or an oligopoly, that falls apart. So I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you, and what's next for the business?
Honestly, just more of it. I'm 32 years old right now, and I was thinking, where was I at 22? And I remember this was a couple nights ago thinking, if I got to talk to myself at 22 years old, what would I think? 32 years old, because it's the end of the decade, so I was 22 in 2010. I would basically tell myself, look, in 10 years, here's what you got. You found your wife, you had your first kid, you became fluent in Spanish, you started your own company, you hit some pretty major financial wealth goals, you've got some amazing friends, you're healthy. you hired people, you've got your own podcast, like all these things I've accomplished. At 22 years old, looking at 32, I would go, wow, that's awesome what I've been able to do in 10 years. So I said, what would I say at 42 that would make me at 32 go, wow? And I remember talking with my wife about this a few nights ago and going, oh, wow, I don't know. I have no idea. What do I want? More money? Like, how can I get healthier? Is there like other major things that I really want? Like, do I want another black belt in karate? Like, and I think what I ultimately came back with, what do I want at 42 in 10 years that would really wow me? And by far and away what it is time for my friends and family and time to help people. So if at 42 I can say I spend whatever X number of hours now helping people once a day, I think that would really get me my wow. So what I need to do is get really specific with that goal, because I like to make goals really specific and really quantify it. But I think really when I hit my midlife crisis, so to speak, around mid-40s, what I need to be saying is, at this point in my life, because I really think it's all going to come down to, I don't know how much more time I have, but happy time spent with those that I care the most about, and time spent helping others is by far and away, when I'm on my deathbed, going to be what I'm reminiscing of over my life. So for me, what is in the future for me and my company, we're going to scale up. We're going to scale up the right way, and we're going to help people along the way and build better communities along the way. And we're always constantly going to make it about more than just ourselves.
That's great, and hopefully we'll both be doing what we're doing 10 years from now, and we can we can have a conversation like this then and see how it goes. I am about 10 years older than you, and I could say I'm probably somewhat similar to you, and confirm that, yeah, what you're saying, you want to be able to say, that's exactly what I would like to be able to say too. So that's wonderful.